that has come to me. Happiness comes so seldom, that has come to me. Running fast to the end of my life, Jesus saved me in time. Happiness comes so seldom, that has come to me. Happiness comes so seldom, that has come to me. Happiness comes so seldom, that has come to me. Running fast for the edge of my life, Jesus saved me in time. Happiness comes so seldom, that has come to me. Happiness comes so seldom, that has come to me. Happiness comes so seldom, that has come to me. Running fast for the edge of my life, Jesus saved me in time. Happiness comes so seldom, that has come to me. Happiness comes so seldom, that has come to me. Happiness comes so seldom, that has come to me. Running fast for the edge of my life, Jesus saved me in time. Jesus saved me in time. Happiness comes so seldom, that has come to me. Happiness comes so seldom, that has come to me. Happiness comes so seldom, that has come to me. Running fast for the edge of my life, Jesus saved me in time. Happiness comes so seldom, that has come to me. Happiness comes so seldom, that has come to me. Happiness comes so seldom, that has come to me. Running fast for the edge of my life, Jesus saved me in time. Happiness comes so seldom, that has come to me. Happiness comes so seldom, that has come to me. Happiness comes, that has come to me. Running fast for the edge of my life, Jesus saved me in time. Running fast for the edge of my life, Jesus saved me in time. Happiness comes so seldom, that has come to me. It is here in the Father's kingdom. It was there for me. You took me in, and you washed away my sins. You washed away my sins.
You ready? You're listening to the Real Pineapple Podcast Network. Oh my gosh, what am I doing? There we go. Hi, good evening, ladies, gentlemen, theys, and gays. This is the Real Pineapple. This is your humble host, Hunter, here. Pardon me. Hope you're all having a good Saturday night. Oh my gosh, hi. Milo's jumping at me. Hi, Milo. You're such a sweet boy. Yes, you are. You might hear Milo in the background. He's I know, buddy. He's a little mad that dad is home and is not hanging out with him. I know, buddy. Dad's gonna stream. Dad's gonna stream for a little bit. But good evening, y'all. Whenever you're watching this, I'm sorry. I'm looking at my lights, and I'm trying to figure out what. Yeah, we'll do meditation. Meditation's a good mood. We'll do that one. Um, trying to figure out what the hell I want my lighting to be. But y'all, I hope you're having a good night. I hope you're having a good night. I hope you're well. I shout out to the afternoon tune. And like I said, good hi to any of y'all who end up watching later, interacting with us later. I appreciate y'all. I hope you're having a good end to your week. I hope you're finding some rest in this. That's the lighting. That's the stuff right there. So I'm gonna be real, y'all, as I always am with y'all. I'm always honest with y'all for better or for worse. Sometimes I am actually come on. That's a good sound. Got a little spiked punch here I'm gonna be making because I'm gonna be talking for a hot minute. So all right, y'all. As y'all know, or at least most of you who've interacted with the show before, whenever I do a stream, I do a thing called Soapbox Corner. It allows me and my guests to go ahead and get things off our chest that maybe we just need to talk about. And look, I haven't streamed in a minute. I'll be real. My new job has kept me quite busy. I've been just getting home later sometimes, and my schedule's been a little all over the place. My schedule is being somewhat normalized now, so moving forward, I will be more a little more consistent. I'm closing next Saturday, but I will be streaming this upcoming Thursday, and I actually might even stream on Tuesday, but we'll see. But I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Outside of just work, the world is just heavy right now, y'all. It's a lot. Like I don't think we're having enough of a conversation about how not normal this is. Like this might be the new normal, but this is not normal. Having your president having not even I was gonna say police, not even fucking police. This his fucking ICE snatching people off the goddamn street. That's not normal. And I really it really isn't being talked about enough how insane this shit is. Like we have people dying in the goddamn street and being fucking executed, and we're just acting like this is not a big deal. The fact that our vice president JD Vance, that asshole, and his dumb shit of a wife, they got booed at the fucking Olympics yesterday. That's not normal. When you are actively having to tell people, please do not boo the vice president of the United States, that's a fucking problem. And that is something that should actively give you cause to pause. But my soapbox corner, because I really don't want to talk about Trump. Like I just look, I've said everything I think I can even think of to say about. Actually, that's not true. I can always say more. But let's call it what it is. This man is fucking terrified. He's terrified. He's terrified because the more shit that's coming out about the Epstein files, the more shit that's starting to be just the layers are being peeled back. The walls are closing in, and he knows the walls are closing in. And even if he does not see the inside of a jail cell, which my God, I hope he does someday, midterms are coming up. And I think he is actively scared. Not even think. I know he's fucking scared. And he should be scared because he ran on a platform of fucking hatred and a bunch of open promises. And people are now kind of going, wait a minute, you've been president for a little while and things are actively worse. Why are things not getting better? So I think fuck, even Ted Cruz understands that things are not great. That fucking punk bitch. So, it's astounding to me. It's honestly astounding to me because there's still people who think that this dude cares about him. And I don't understand it. Like, okay, I can't even lie. I do understand it. Because what it comes down to is it comes down to racist white men not wanting anyone else to have a seat at the table. That's what this breaks down to at the end of the day. It's about people who feel like they've been wronged, even though they haven't, and they're blaming it on gay people. They're blaming it on the LGBTQIA community. They're blaming it on people of color. They're blaming it on women. The fucking yes, and the white women who support. That's the thing, y'all. And I will say that has probably been like the biggest just what the fuck that has been really hard to rationalize, is having women support this man. The Latinos for Trump thing, especially, and blacks for Trump, is just it almost makes me just want it hurts my head in a way. I oh my god. I bet you love them white women. Afternoon, yeah, Josh from the Afternoon Tune, as usual, projecting his kinks on here. I'm happy this is a safe space for you to get your kinks out. But goddamn, it is unfathomable to me that people still support this man. And again, it's because these people feel like they've been wronged and all that bullshit. But here's the thing, and I will say this specifically to ICE agents and anyone who thinks they're doing a good job. At some point, this nightmare is going to be over. It's going to be. And Pam Bondi and Trump and Stephen Miller and all those other dumb fucks who deserve to burn in hell for what they're doing right now in this country, they're gonna drop you like a bad habit. They will throw ICE under the bus so fucking quick and be like, the president never told them to do any of this. Like, we've seen Trump dime people out to stay ahead of all this shit. That's what he does. He's a fucking con man. And somehow, and I think that's the other thing that's confusing to me, is like, he's not even a good con man. Like, how people are still buying this shit. Like, his hands look like he's been cursed. He's straight up is like stumbling through his sentences. I mean, he did that during his first term, but I mean, the dementia signs are insane. And the fact that, Joe Biden, I know Sleepy Joe and all that, Trump has been falling asleep, it feels like on a fucking daily basis. And I don't understand. Like, now I understand the media is obviously corrupt, as they usually are. Watch BBC News and NPR, kids. But it is insane to me how the media is not covering this with the same vigor that they were going ahead and doing it with Biden. And this brings me to the last thing I'll bring up. Obviously, most of y'all, I'm sure, I mean, unless you live under a fucking rock, y'all know what Trump posted about the Obamas. And yeah, is it racist? Absolutely. The fact that they blamed it on a staffer and then Trump just straight up admitted that he did it and only saw like the first part. He said the first part was okay. They can't even spin right. They can't even keep their lies straight, which, I mean, duh, this is how, fucking sociopath. But it's amazing to me that I saw people trying to be like, it's a joke. Like, here's the thing. How Trump's whole response about Black History Month, that in itself was gross as fuck. But the thing is, he has such he damn near is in love with Obama. Let's call it what it is. He loves Obama more than he loves his kids. Because I barely hear him mention his fucking kids. He can't go a fucking day without mentioning Obama. So he clearly loves Obama more than he loves his fucking children. Outside of Ivanka, but it's kind of amazing that he just cannot keep Obama's name, to paraphrase Will Smith, out of his fucking mouth. I don't get it. And I mean, I say I don't get it. It's because Obama is everything that Trump wants to be. He's a family man. He's respected. He has a wife that actually cares about him and kids that actually love him. At the end of the day, Trump has none of those things. And the fact that people still, and I'm sure on a daily basis, yell at him, Obama was better, and that he's actively reminded of how, and let's be clear, Obama did some shit I did not fucking agree with. Drone strikes. No legalized marijuana. Guantanamo. Like, as a few examples. Obama was by no means a perfect president. But Obama cared about people. He genuinely cared about people. And even when people yelled at him and were trying to, be just absolute racist monsters to him, which people often fucking were. And I don't think that's brought up nearly enough how much Obama handled all the racism with the grace that he fucking did. It's so weird too that Sean Hannity, you remember, I can't remember. I think it was like it was something about Obama loving Grey Poupon, I remember. And Sean Hannity could not get off of that shit for like a fucking week. It was like the tan suit all over again. And he's like, oh, Obama likes Grey Poupon. Enjoy your fancy sandwich, Mr. President. And I'm like, and Trump, oh my God, the goalpost moving from MAGA is so fucking, it's so exhausting. God fucking damn it. Here's the thing. This will be over. At some point, this will be over. At some point, we will have a Democrat back in the White House. God help me. God, Lord willing, it's AOC. Because AOC seems to be one of the few Democrats that has a fucking spine right now. But that's a whole other conversation. I'm trying to get this elixir open for my drink, and it is like fucking stuck. But here's the thing, though. For all of you, and I mean the royal we, because I know there aren't any Trumpers watching, the Trump supporters watching my shit right now. And if you are, you can turn it off. I don't want your fucking views. When this is all over and Trump is gone and the Munchkins come out and celebrate and sing, as will everyone, because goddamn, that's gonna be a great fucking day. But when this shit's all over, there's gonna be a lot of uncomfortable conversations that people are gonna have with their LGBTQIA family members and their friends of color and their female friends, and those people who you have wronged. And let's be clear, you wronged those people by voting for Trump. You absolutely wronged them, and you said that this man's racism by no means is a deal breaker, and I am actively okay with you being oppressed as long as quote Christian values quote unquote are upheld. That's what you've said by voting for this man again. When he's out of the White House and you inevitably go crawling back to those people that you fucked over royally, those people who you fucked over have every right to look you dead in the eye and say, go fuck yourself. Because I'll be honest, that is something I am actively struggling with. I started therapy last week, or not this past Thursday, but a week from this past Thursday. Started therapy, and I would be lying to you if I said that one of the first things I brought up to my therapist was like, I need to be able to talk to you about this administration because I feel like they're driving me fucking nuts. To be honest, that's part of the reason why I started fucking therapy. Is just because I found myself interacting with some Trumpers, and I just my brain just wants to. I can't sometimes, and but I would say it's maddening at this point, and but oh yeah, my therapist. I told my therapist I don't know if I have space in my heart to forgive those people. I've cut multiple friends out of my life, people that I really fucking loved and care about, because they would one of my friends posted a thing about how, oh my God, Charlie Kirk being killed is like Martin Luther King Jr. being killed. I couldn't block them fast enough. I'm like, that might be the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard in my fucking life. Like, it still makes me mad. I read that 6 weeks ago.
Which, by the way, doesn't it feel like Charlie Kirk is just still around? It's like they never even bring the fucker up. It's like I thought he was some big fucking deal. I thought they were trying to put his ass on coins. Like, really? Charlie. Anyways, but I don't know. And I really told my therapist, I'm like, look, I don't know if I have space in my heart to forgive people who vote for this man again. I really don't. And I hate that I have that much anger towards one person, but at the same time, why are you voting for this dude? Like, what part of you thought that he would no, you cannot go to my third. That's a very uncomfortable question to ask. Like, why would you even say that, dude? Come on, Josh, you're better than that. That's a weird question. No, you may not go to my fucking therapist, you weirdo. But I'd be lying, man. Like, there are some friendships I'm gonna miss, but I cannot wrap my head around someone voting for this man. I can't imagine looking my I have two sisters. Like, I couldn't look them in the fucking eye and say, "Oh yeah, no, I totally love you and care about your rights, but oh, by the way, I voted for this fucking sexist monster." Like, I don't understand how people can try to spin it like I still love you. It's part of the reason I don't go to church anymore. And I'll be real, I miss the community of church. But one of the things my therapist already unearthed that I just kind of like, it's one of those things like I feel like I just kind of pushed down is I had this girl, this friend of mine when I was going to youth group when I was 16, 17. So it was maybe like a year after my dad had passed. And she straight up said that she thought that she needed to pray for gay people because she thought they were demon possessed. And it's one of those things I remember that being like my first, like, what the fuck sort of moment. Because it was just something I never thought about in terms of I always just, my parents were musicians. I was around gay people from the time I was, fucking 3. I never, I've always had gay people, in my life. And so just the concept of someone being that prejudiced and saying something that's that fucking gross. My brain just was like, what the fuck? And people not questioning it. And it's so weird. That was 2003. And all these years later, now I'm in this space where I'm just like, wow, it's while things have gotten better, in many ways, things have gotten worse. And I think the thing that's so, man, I have not had a drink yet. Hang on. Cheers, by the way. Damn, that's good. I think one of the things that's so troubling about Trump is that people now have a person that encompasses their racism who's holding the highest office in the world right now. And that is a terrifying concept. So I will simply say in closing, fuck this administration, fuck ICE, fuck Donald Trump. I'm not subtle about my politics. I actually had someone reach out to me on socials maybe a month ago, and they were like, "Oh, I had no idea you're so woke." I'm like, look at the fucking background on my stream. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Of course, woke. Yeah, like, fuck out of here. Yeah, like, I am not subtle about my fucking politics. I never have been, never will be. But I'm gonna challenge my fellow content creators. I'm gonna challenge just my fucking friends. I have this friend of mine who she and I didn't talk for about a year. And I was really upset with her because she, like, when we were kind of talking, she was like, "Yeah, I'm just not political. Like, I'm not into politics." And I'm just like, man, as a woman, you really need to be into fucking politics right now. There is way too much going on in the world for you to not be paying fucking attention. And that is a level of privilege that just blows my fucking mind. You're not fucking into politics. You need to be into fucking politics. And she admitted how ignorant she was, and she's been like sharing stuff from her stories and shit. I'm like, that's amazing. I'm really proud of you. And I had to give her credit and tell her how proud I was of her to go ahead and kind of take that step. My lovely partner Leia, one of the things I absolutely adore, her boss, his wife, one of my favorite people in the fucking world. She has been a fucking
warrior for so many different social causes, and like that's something that just makes me adore her even fucking more. She's an amazing fucking person. I've been so I've had her on the show. I know Jennifer Levinson, who I will always speak highly of, one of the most creative people I've ever had the privilege of talking to. No shame in her game. She is destroying people on threads, and she's straight up calling out men's bigotry. Which, by the way, okay, just a piece of advice for men out there. The bar right now, dating wise, has never been lower. All you have to do, like take away the concept that you should be an ally for women, because there's so much going on in the world right now, and we need to be raising our voices. Take that out of it. It is insane how I see Republican men shooting their shot with liberal women and then being like, "Oh, what a bitch." When, like, why would a woman date someone who proudly chants "your body, my choice"? Who the fuck would be comfortable with someone like that? Which, okay, this is the last thing I would bring up about Trump, because he made this post, or he made this comment. I'm trying to see if I can find the full post. Okay, here we go. So Trevor Noah made this joke. Well, he took some shots at Trump, which as well he should. Let me see. I'm trying to see if I can even find the joke that Trevor Noah made. Yeah, I don't. Oh, he said that Trump and Clinton spent time on Epstein Island, which, by the way, Clinton wants to go ahead and actually, talk about that in public. Why they don't want him to is so interesting to me. But so Trevor Noah makes this joke, right? So then this is what Trump posts on Truth Social. Noah said incorrectly about me that Donald Trump and Bill Clinton spent time on Epstein Island. Wrong. I can't speak for Bill, but I've never been to Epstein Island, nor anywhere close. And until tonight's false and defamatory statement, have never been accused of being there. Not even by the fake news media, which is just a fucking bullshit lie. Which is like, come on, dude. God, he's such a fucking moron. Noah, a total loser, better get his facts straight and get them straight fast. He then added, "Get ready, Noah. I'm gonna have some fun with you." What a rapey thing to say! Like, for a man who says he's never raped anyone, that is one of the rapiest ways to address a comedian making a joke. It might be the rapiest. Like, ew! Like, how does everything he says sound so uncomfortable? Just, oh my god, he's such a gross human being. Oh my god, I'm not just talking about his doll hands. Just, oh my god. But, yeah, just what a fucking loser. Seriously, what a fucking loser. History is not going to be kind to Trump, nor to the people who support this bullshit. History books 20 years from now are going to be fuck 10 years from now. History books are gonna they are not gonna be great, especially when it comes to January 6th. I'll tell you that right now. But anyways, just fucking wild, man. So I will put my soapbox down now, but pardon me. But with that said, oh yeah, actually, I did want to bring this up. So, Black Cinema Showcase, gonna be doing that again. This Black History Month. Real excited to bring that to y'all once again. So I actually watched one of the films that I will be reviewing for Black Cinema Showcase. I'll be reviewing that here in just a bit. But I'm gonna let's see. I got the list here. So, here's the list as follows. I might even add 2 more things, but for right now, and I'm getting back to like regular reviews too, and I'm still working through Oscar screeners. So, actually, I want to bring that up. I can talk about that real quick. Um, I think the Oscars are March 15th. Yeah. So so I will have my best of, worst of that week. That'll be Oscar week. So I'll have my best of probably on the 12th, or probably worst of on the 12th, best of on the 13th. So I'm gonna push the best and worst of out that far because I still want to work through some Oscar screeners. I still want to go ahead and go to get back and going to the movies more regularly and checking out new releases. And I'm doing the Black Cinema Showcase. So between all three of those, I want to make sure I have ample time to still watch some of the Oscar stuff that I want to check out. So I think this upcoming week, I'm gonna check out. I'm gonna check out Weapons. I'm gonna check out Send Help. I'm gonna go see it for my friend Alyssa. Love you, Alyssa. Can't wait to see you. And then I'm gonna work through some other stuff throughout the week. But as far as what it's gonna be reviewed for Black Cinema Showcase, I've got Do the Right Thing. Never reviewed that. I have seen Do the Right Thing, but it's been a minute since I've seen it. So I'm gonna watch Do the Right Thing. I am behind on MCU MCU shit. So I'm gonna check out Ironheart season 1, and I'm gonna check out Wonder Man season 1. I'm already a couple episodes in the Wonder Man. I'm really fucking digging it. So I started episode 3, so I'm gonna finish that up this week. So that will be a review I have this week is Wonder Man season 1. Gonna review Dope because the movie, not the drug. But I've been wanting to watch Dope or rewatch Dope for a while, and I just haven't. So I'm gonna watch Dope. I actually just thought of another movie I might add to the list, but I might save that. So, but I'm gonna review Dope. Malcolm X. I've kept talking about reviewing Malcolm X, and it just has not happened yet, and I need to make it happen. So I will be rewatching Malcolm X, probably this week, maybe next week. But I'm gonna go ahead and rewatch Malcolm X, and I'm gonna have a review for that. Moon Girl, Devil Dinosaur. I am gonna finish that up. Probably have Brandon and Canada on for that because really loved talking to them last time about Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur, and I am heartbroken that Disney canceled that. Fuck them for that, by the way. But I love that show, and I'm excited to see how it wraps up. Gonna review 1001 just because that's a film that I got a screener for when it came out a couple years ago, and I remember I just didn't get a chance to review it proper, and that's a movie that deserves more eyes on it. It's a great fucking movie. Think I'm gonna review Invincible Fight Girl season 1. That's a to be determined just because that still hasn't been reviewed or renewed for season 2. And I don't know if I want to review a show that, isn't coming back. So we'll see on that. I might replace that with a movie. But that's really the one movie that's probably going to be, or the one review that may not happen. And then lastly, Sinners. And I'm going to have my mom on for that. I'm going to have Mama Hunter return to the podcast, as she's known to some of y'all. But yeah, I'm really excited about the list for stuff for Black Cinema Showcase this year. So I'm really hyped. I'm really hyped to get into some of these reviews. But well, actually, speaking of that, fuck it. Let's start with Boyz n the Hood. I'll actually go and segue right into that. I am just sending notes to my Google Docs. I'm normally on it in terms of being ready for this, but I was like, I got home a little late. I had some places I had to go, people. So, but Boyz n the Hood. So, of course, Boyz n the Hood, directed by John Singleton. That's a movie, and also written by John Singleton. You of course know John Singleton from several movies, including Baby Boy, Poetic Justice, Four Brothers. He was the showrunner and the creator of Snowfall before his untimely passing. the 2000 Shaft movie, which is a great fucking movie, by the way. Unfortunately, a movie that's still more timely than it should be and more relevant, um, but absolutely love John Singleton. And it's crazy. I had never seen Boys in the Hood until Friday morning at 4 a.m. It's one of those movies that I've it's been on my list, and I was like, I should. Hi, Milo. Hey, buddy. That's Milo saying hi. Um, oh, hi, buddy. Yeah, where'd you go? There you are. Hi, I'm petting you. I'm petting you. Um, but it's one of those movies I told myself, yeah, I need to watch this at some point. I just never got around to it, and so I couldn't sleep Friday night. Oh, let's see. Epic Joshua. Joshua, what's up, man? Check him. Check out Joshua's stuff. Joshua's good people. He's actually one of the few creators I would actually actively vouch for. Got a lot of respect from Joshua. Thanks for stopping in, bro. Appreciate you. But yeah, you're right, man. He was gone way too soon, and I'm happy that people are starting to discover Snowfall, because that feels like one of those shows that was on, that when it was on, I feel like I was one of the few people who was watching that fucking show. But Snowfall, oh my god, Snowfall's fucking great. But Singleton, this is really was, buddy. I know. Yeah, I got a cat yelling at me here. Here's one thing about this movie that I didn't know anything about it going in. Like I knew it's been heralded as a classic for years. I understood that. I understood how important this film is in terms of Black culture, Black cinema. I didn't know about how this ended. I didn't know about like I knew, like, it was about some brothers who grew up together. That's, and I say that, in the way Black people mean it, to quote Zoolander. But that's really all I knew about it. I really didn't know a ton about the film. And so I went in like shockingly cold and not being aware of spoilers or dialogue or anything like that. So I was like, okay, I'm excited for this. And my biggest takeaway from Boys in the Hood is, holy fuck, Lawrence Fishburne's amazing. Like, Lawrence Fishburne, like, he's always been one of my favorite actors. It's kind of insane how brilliant Lawrence Fishburne is in this movie. And actually, I don't know if did he get nominated for Boys in the Hood? Let me see here. Boys in the Hood. I don't know if he. Wow. So, wow. Lawrence Fishburne did not receive an Oscar nomination for Boys in the Hood. That is goddamn ridiculous. Are you kidding me? How the fuck did he not? Like, that movie, like Boys in the Hood, kind of is the Lawrence Fishburne show. Like, obviously the kids are the ones that the movie focuses on the most, but that movie really is a showcase for Lawrence Fishburne. That's wild to me. Wow. Okay. Hate that. But that is, God, I'm sorry. That's like blowing my mind right now that he wasn't nominated for shit. God, the Academy sucks. Anyways, but Boys in the Hood, I'm torn on this, and I'm torn from the perspective of how great I think this movie is, because I don't know, like, I haven't watched Friday in a while. I think there's a lot of similarities to Friday in terms of this is a funny fucking movie. Like, it really is a funny movie, but the dramatic beats, especially as the film goes on, it really turns that dial in terms of the drama, and you really start to realize like how dire the situation is that these men are in. And I don't have the list of who played like the young versions of the characters, but I gotta say, holy shit, like the kids were amazing in this. Like, so I like all the kids, like, bravo to all of you. Those kids hit this movie with such a authenticity that cause like kind of like if you rewatch the first Harry Potter, like those kids, like God bless them, like there's some spots in that are just rough. You know what I mean in terms of like the acting, but they're also fucking children. Like they're not going to be these Shakespearean actors. But watching this movie in terms of like how kids actually act, in terms of as someone who's been there, where you throw you lose your ball or something, and an older kid happens to get it, and they're just being a dick to you about it. There's a scene early on in the film when the boys are kids, where Trey in particular, he is he's walking with Doughboy, who ends up being Ice Cube, and then Ricky, who's played by Morris Chestnut later on. He's going ahead. He walking. They're all walking together, and this kid ends up stealing his ball again because this guy's a fucking dick. But the fact is that this older kid just beats the shit out of him. Just beats the shit out of Ricky, and I think he beats the shit out of Chris. Yeah, no, he beats the shit out of Chris. Pardon me. But it's one of those things. It's one of those moments where you realize A, how traumatic that shit would be for a fucking kid, but B, how them being in the hood really is such a dangerous prospect, but how the hood doesn't discriminate. Like if you're a little kid, fuck you. If I can take something that's yours to make my life better, then so fucking be it. It's such a cruel representation of that, but it hits you quick. And the movie's not pulling punches on that front. And that's something that it really reminds me of that scene in Incredibles, where Elastigirl straight up tells these henchmen aren't like the ones in those cartoons or in the movies. Like they will kill you. Like there is no allusion to the danger that these kids are in. I think Singleton's screenplay does an incredible job of nailing that aspect and really driving home the danger that these kids are in. One thing that I was really taken back by, and if the things that he's been accused of are any indication, which is not great, obviously. It feels like Cuba Gooding Jr. hasn't been good in so long. You know what I mean? Like I'm looking at his filmography right now. Man, it's been a minute since he's been in something that I've like enjoyed. Like I think American Gangster is the last thing. So I was like 2007. He does Red Tails, which should have been better, but what are you gonna do? But yeah, he's been in a lot of just like shit recently. He's been doing I know he did the American Crime Story, the OJ Simpson one. I guess he was on Empire apparently, which I just like I didn't fucking care about Empire. But yeah, Cuba Gooding Jr. Like it feels like we've had Boat Trip Cuba Gooding Jr. for so fucking long. And so watching this movie, it kind of tripped me out because it was kind of like watching Beverly Hills Cop. Watching that, well, I was gonna say trilogy, but there's 4 of them now. But watching the original trilogy, because I'm so used to this Eddie Murphy, like Pluto Nash, Norbit Eddie Murphy. But seeing Eddie Murphy at like the peak of his powers and like seeing some of his 80s stuff, like watching Trading Places for the first time over the Christmas and watching the Beverly Hills Cops film, it was crazy to watch Cuba Gooding Jr. acting alongside Lawrence Fishburne and actually keeping up. I was like, what? That's a thing? Like, holy shit. I didn't know Cuba Gooding Jr. had this in him. It's been a while. But it was pretty crazy to see how Lawrence Fishburne, like just as a black man, raises Trey. Fishburne has this. You understand why he's like a classically trained actor. It's just how much gravitas he has as an actor. The way that he's able to just pull like his his speech on the gentrification is something like, again, didn't have that spoiled for me, but that was something that as I was watching the speech, I was like, holy fuck, this dude's amazing. Like it's one of the best monologues I've heard ever. But like the way that he breaks down, like, excuse me, breaks down like the scam of America and how there's, there's like more, why is there a gun shop, gun shop liquor liquor shop, on every corner in black neighborhoods, like you don't see that shit in Beverly Hills, and you're just like, yeah, you're not wrong. And the way that he just breaks everything down in that speech, that in particular is something that I was like, holy shit, Lawrence Fishburne, you are a fucking brilliant motherfucker. That made me really happy. That was something I was not expecting, and I'm so happy that wasn't spoiled for me. The one thing, another thing that the Singleton script does a great job of doing, and this is really a testament to the actors in the film as well. I believe that these guys were childhood friends, and it's always one of those things where you're always like almost a little concerned about it in terms of making that jump, from them being kids to being, young adults. It's crazy when you make that jump because you have to keep the camaraderie. You have to keep the camaraderie that's been established for them as kids. There's this heartbreaking scene where they go ahead and they visit a dead body, and it's one of those scenes that, like, as I was watching it, I was like, damn, this is fucking heavy. And the way that, even though they're talking about like the, like how like, oh my god, dead body, it smells and all this, it's crazy how normalized that's become. Like it's like one of those things, like it's so crazy the way that they that really kind of breaks down in terms of their world, in the way that they are just so like kind of nonplussed by it. It's like, oh wow. And it really does again drive home the seriousness of where they're living. For me, outside of Trey, because again, I think Cuban Jr. does a fantastic job. See Ice Cube, like early Ice Cube, because I do think Ice Cube, like as much shit as I, like War of the Worlds, that will crack my worst stuff. Like that movie is fucking awful. Ice Cube's a hell of an actor. Like he's gotten like surprisingly kind of good as an actor. Like I know, like I know he has often played angry characters, but A, he's really good at it, and B, you look at comedy is hard to do. Comedy is genuinely hard to do. That's why everyone can't fucking do it. That's why, like, sometimes, like when I watch Leo try to do comedy, sometimes I'm just like, yeah, I don't think he nailed this. I love watching Ice Cube do comedy because I really do think that he understands that it's okay to laugh at yourself, and I think he's very good at that. I think him in 22 Jump Street, I think you could actually make a case like he deserved the Golden Globe nomination for that performance. He's fucking amazing in 22 Jump Street. That scene at the school alone is God, that's so good. That shit at the college is fucking amazing. But Ice Cube's great in this. He's a pig. He is I will say there are definitely elements of the script, which I will like. People, you can have reverence for a film that existed, 20, 30, 40 years ago, and still be able to call out the fact that it is not aged well. And I will be the first to admit, like, there's a point where, in a moment that kind of blew my mind because I did not know that Regina King was in this as Shalika, I believe is her name. I was blown away when there's this point where he's talking about where she's talking about sexism, which, rightfully so, because Ice Cube is calling women in the movies bitches and hoes like the whole fucking movie. And so there's this point where she's straight up asking, why do you always do that? Why do you always call us bitches and hoes? And without missing a beat, Ice Cube's Doughboy is like, because that's what you are. And I was just like, wow, what a response. So I was like, holy fuck, that's so like great retort, but also damn, that's fucked up. Like, God almighty. It's amazing she should have slapped him. I think she tries to hit him, but I yeah, that retort had me. I was like, damn, dude, that's stiff. That's a stiff response. Um, I do want to shout out to because I really like this dude, and he's actually got a Sherlock Holmes show running right now, Watson, which apparently is actually high. I've heard decent things about it. Um, he's a more chestnut man. Like I'm really happy for him. Like he's really good in this. I was pleasantly surprised by him in this. When you look at his filmography, like he's one of those dudes who's just kind of been working for a minute, like really since then. Like he's so like, apparently he's on that show Goliath, the uh what's his name? The Billy Bob Thornton one. Apparently he was in that. At least it shows it here on his IMDb. Oh yeah, I remember he was on V. Best Man's Wedding. I guess that's coming up. He was in Under Siege 2 Dark Territory. I did not know that. But he's in like the best he's done like the Best Man stuff. Um he's in The Resident, Reasonable Doubt, apparently the show he's on right now. Like he's been consistently working for years, and I didn't know about Ricky dying. Again, I was able to just avoid spoilers on this movie. His death is fucking heartbreaking. Like there is this point where the only reason I knew he was gonna die is because there's this point where they're talking about him getting out of the hood and him going off to college, and I was just hearing the it's my it's my day before retirement speech, like if it was a cop, and I was like, oh fuck, this nigga's in trouble. It's like, oh, he's gonna get shot, isn't he? And what I do really love about this movie is the dude. There's this gangster in the movie who's like, him and Doughboy are basically having a dick measuring contest. Like whenever they see each other, it's basically like, my gun's bigger than your gun. I can shoot you first. Like it. I don't know why it sounds so Western, but it. But they're basically just doing that to each other. Like anytime they see each other, and there's this point where you're like, oh man, someone's gonna get fucking killed because of this shit. And the way that Singleton shoots, pun intended, shoots that scene, it gives it this level of just like it's just like you could. I would imagine seeing this in a theater. Just the air would just be sucked out of fucking auditorium. Like it's such a gut punch when and it lands perfectly. And the way that that Trey and company react to the shooting in particular, it really does give this extra level of like, oh fuck to it. That yeah, I dug this movie so much. I haven't even fucking mentioned Angela Bassett, who's in it, who plays Cuba Gooding Jr.'s Trey's mom. By the way, what a fucking hot couple. Lawrence Fishburne and Angela Bassett. Still both look fucking fantastic. Them in this movie, you see them together, it's like, wow, what a hot couple. Like good for both of you. And they have this conversation about Trey being babied by Riva, Angela Bassett's character, and the way that they get into it is some like it's like this back and forth of like the way they're volleying off each other and the way that they're kind of, it's like a chess match, and the way that they have this conversation. I loved it so much. They're so good together. There's only a couple scenes of them together, and if there is a complaint, that would be one. Like I loved watching Angela Bassett and Lawrence Fishburne together. It made me so fucking happy. Oh my god, it's so good. It's so fucking good. Um, I'm trying to remember. Was oh, that's right. So they literally, it's so fun. That's wild because Boys in the Hood is 91. What's Love Got to Do if it's 93? So yeah, like 2 years later, they would crack this open even more in terms of how great their chemistry is together. That's crazy. But getting the final thoughts here, man, this is a movie that just I was captivated from start to finish. Like it starts off, I don't even want to say it starts off slow, but it's setting up quite a few pieces. It's setting up, the relationship between Lawrence Fishburne's Furious and Riva. It's setting up, Doughboy and Trey and Ricky and like it's balancing a lot of stuff, and yet it all comes together in this way where you're just like, man, this was clearly a passion project for Singleton. This is something that clearly meant a lot to him. Hell yeah. It just works on every level I would want it to. Yeah, this is a fan fucking tastic. I love this movie. This is something I'll be putting in the rotation for Black History Month. But it's so well handled. It's so well shot. There's several mic drop moments where you're just like, damn. There's a conversation that Doughboy has with I think it's with Chris. Actually, no, it's not Chris. It's kind of one of their tag along friends. But Doughboy has this conversation with this brother about condoms and about like because the early 90s was like AIDS epidemic, and he's talking about like I can't get a girl pregnant, whatever, and he's like uh like not wearing a condom, like your dick could still fall off, and I was like yeah. I appreciate the bluntness in which you're just like, yeah, you could literally lose your dick. And he's like, wait a minute, what? And then it becomes real because then it's not about, which also points out the selfishness too. It's like it's not just about getting someone pregnant; it's about being safe. You asshole. But I love that. I love that bit. I love the way that Ice Cube is playing this brother who is trapped within his circumstances, but you can tell that he's intelligent. You can tell he's well read. I really just love watching Doughboy's character. I really I liked Trey. I like the journey that Trey goes on. There is that is one thing okay, last thing before I kind of wrap up here. One thing that had me laughing is there's a girl in this movie, Brandy, played by Nia Long, which my god, Nia Long has been fine for forever. Lord have mercy. There's this point where he pulls the, well, baby, I know you're not a virgin. I know you're a virgin, but we're gonna get married anyway, baby. So you might as well just drop them panties. And it's just like, dude, like his attempt at that. And I give her credit for being like, nah, fam, like that's not how this works. Like you need to put a ring on this shit before you can get this shit. And I was laughing at how he was like, come on, baby, it's me. It's like, dude, come on, man. But Nia Long's great in this too. This is fan fucking tastic. I enjoyed this greatly, and I had a lot of fun watching this. Not, I mean, fun, not like I was sharing and shit, but it really was one of those things that I was just really I was very captivated watching this movie, and I enjoyed myself. I had a lot of fun with it. But yeah, so fucking tastic for me for Boys in the Hood. So yeah, I think my next Black Cinema Showcase review, I think I'll do Wonder Man season 1. That'll be this week at some point. So I will probably just straight up do a stream for that. But yeah, so moving on to my next review. Let's see here. Where is my notes for it? Oh, did I? Oh, there we go. There we go. Excellent. Perfect. All right. So, let's see. So I'm trying to get the cast list up here. All right. So, Black Phone 2 is a sequel that came out this past year. It is a sequel to the 2021 film, The Black Phone. crazy that we got a sequel 4 years later. But what's his name? And Mason Thames. Thames, I think that's how you say it. Um, he just turned is that right? Just turned 18? Okay, just turned 18 last year. But he's playing Hiccup in the How to Train Your Dragon live action movies right now, which is good for you, dude. I haven't seen the live action. I'm gonna check it out just because I love How to Train Your Dragon, and I think that actor is fucking great. So I'm excited to see what he does with playing Hiccup. But for those of you who listened to my Real Scary series back in 2021, which if you haven't, you should. There's some good reviews there. But I watched The Black Phone, and I love The Black Phone. Shout out to Nick from the Afternoon Tune, who would not shut the fuck up about me watching Black Phone too, or Black Phone. Pardon me. But when I did finally watch The Black Phone, I was like, oh yeah, this movie is fucking great. Holy shit. Like, long live The Black Phone. I was so happy when I finally got a chance to check it out. So when I heard they're doing a sequel, I was like, okay, I'm very excited that we're doing a sequel, but also terrified that they could fuck this up. So I was scared. I will be the first to admit that I was genuinely scared going into this because I thought they were just gonna just not give a fuck, and that it was a sequel for this being a sequel. Yes, I know Scott Derrickson back in the saddle again after doing the original. He of course also did Sinister and the original Doctor Strange. I know Scott Derrickson, like what you got? Maybe this was good. Like maybe it would be good. Joe Hill was the writer of the book that this is originally based on. So the pieces felt like they were there. See Robert Cargill, personal big hero of mine. Love that dude. Was back working on the screenplay. So I'm like, okay, they're the original players are here. How's this gonna work? So this time around, as you know, at the end of the first film, the grabber, played by Ethan Hawke, died. He got killed by he of course got killed by Finney, Mason Thames' character. And what's really cool about them doing the sequel now is that he has grown up. He is older, and so you feel like you're aging with the character, obviously, but also the fact that they say it's been 4 years since he was kidnapped. So picking it up in real time, and the PTSD is just fucking there. That is something that this film, I think, handles flawlessly, is the concept of PTSD, and how some people just don't some people would rather live with the anger and just the fear of whatever occurred or whatever happened to them. They'd rather live with that than actually seek out therapy or seek out help or try to move past it. I can't even I can't even begin to imagine how traumatic of an event this is. I still remember when I was 5, being at the car wash with my dad in this brown van, maybe 30 feet away from me, going like, hey, you have some candy, do you want some candy? And my dad literally grabbing a baseball bat and chasing the van down the street. I still remember that. I was 6, at 5 or 6, and that's still something. I'll be real, I still my hand kind of twitches if I'm near a car wash to this day. That's something that was very traumatic for me. So I won't lie, the first Black Phone, it was one of those things where I was like, oh my god, this is fucking intense. And so I was really curious what they're going to do in terms of intensity and how you even get that same intensity with with a sequel. And the answer is you basically go full Nightmare on Elm Street. This is this is clearly heavily influenced by those movies. But while I've never seen any of those films, because someone just torturing you in your sleep or being able to kill you in your sleep is a horrifying concept, the way that they play with that in this movie is so well handled, and the way that there are characters who get hurt in these dream sequences, and then you see them actually get marked in real time. Like it's so fascinating how the film plays with that. And while I thought the first film was was all Mason was really the Mason Thames show, even though I will say there's someone else in this movie that I think could challenge for that. While the first film really was the Mason Thames show because he was the one that was kidnapped. Madeline McGraw, who played Gwen, I said in the first Black Phone that she almost steals the film from him. And she steals this. She steals this fucking movie. She is transcendent. She is fucking incredible in this movie. Quite frankly, she should be getting a Best Supporting Actress nomination. That's how great she is in this. And I know the Academy hates horror, so why am I fucking surprised? But she fucking rules in this. And I think part or one of the things that I genuinely love about this movie is the actual way that they bring the grabber back. Like they basically kind of Harry Potter. They're like the grabber. Well, okay, I don't want to spoil too much, but I'll simply say that they tie in an event or some events of the grabber when he was younger, and they use that to kind of explain how he's back. And I actually thought, given the explanation that they give, I went, yeah, okay, yeah, I buy that. I actually that's totally fine. Let's go. I thought it was actually quite clever the way they kind of get into that, and I was really happy that that's the direction they decided to go. One thing I love too about this movie is the changing of the setting. You really don't get a lot of horror movies set in around ice and around like snow, like really around winter. Like everything, like you don't get a lot of horror movies like that. And the way that this reminded me, it's like if Wind River was a horror movie. The way like the elements really act almost as a second character or a secondary character, pardon me, in this movie. And they use that to great effect in terms of the horror, especially. There's a point where this kid, you see him under the ice, and you see the ice kind of like start to kind of like reflect off his skin, kind of like almost like pick at skin. And then you see this kid's face basically like split in two. You realize that he's been like cut down like the front of his face. You're like, holy fuck. Like there's just these moments like that in there, like that, where I was like, oh my god, I was not expecting that. um Ethan Hawke, one thing that this movie does that actually surprised me is that the grabber, you don't see the grabber for almost an hour. Like you don't see the grabber for almost half the movie. But the movie's having to establish some background on the grabber, why this new setting is so important, um why Gwen and oh my gosh, Finney, like why they are where they are. Like there's quite a few pieces that are being set up, and yet the movie does such a great job of laying the groundwork that when the grabber does show up, you're like, oh fuck, things are bad. Like things are like things are about to get so fucking bad. And honestly, I love the grabber explanation for being back. Like, is it revenge? Yeah, I mean, kind of a no duh. But the actual specifics of the revenge is something I went, you know what? Yeah, for you, this fucking tracks. And I actually love that you're this petty. I just knocked my camera over. And my microphone just fell. Oh my god, what is happening? Everything's falling apart here at HQ. Um Give me a second here, people. Wow, I did not know what happened to my microphone. All right, that fell. Okay, hold up. Man, I might just have to hold my microphone. All right. I don't know why my microphone is not holding, so I might just have to hold this for a bit. And my camera is there's my camera. Come here. Okay, there we go. But yeah, so it's one of those things where I was like, you know what? I I love this new setting. Um, I don't have the guy's name who did the score, but I believe it's the same guy from the first one. The score in here is fucking great. Um, when the grabber shows up, he is like that is one thing. I don't want to spoil too much, but there is this little bit of dialogue that I want to read. That the grabber has. I think I have it here. Let's see. Um, oh yeah, there you go. He so the grabber goes, "Did you think our story was over, Finney? Did you really believe did you really believe you could do what you did to me and that would be the end of it?" Um that monologue that the grabber has, and I won't spoil the next line because it does kind of get into like why he's back. When he just starts talking that shit to Finney, you're just like, oh no, like this is like bad doesn't even cover how bad it is. Like the grabber goes like he loses his fucking shit in a way that I was like, I appreciate this level of petty, but also, oh no, kid, please like get out of there. This is not good for you. Um, oh my god, it's such a great fucking movie. And the thing that I will say too about this movie is like a lot of the horror is atmospheric, but when the grabber does show up and starts doing shit, it is bad. Like there's a point where kind of early on he's trying to just kill somebody, and he opens his oven up, and he's just trying to throw this person in the oven with all with all his fucking might. It's like Jesus Christ, dude! Like the grabber has no time for games, and it's kind of amazing how intense Ethan Hawke's performance is. There is a point, I won't spoil when, but he pulls his mask off, and that shot is one of the most like, oh my god, like I lost my shit when that part happened. But I was so excited. And I will say too, the third act of this movie, while I love the third act of the first film, do not misunderstand. I love the first film. I love the third act of this film so fucking much. And I love the way that um I really just love the way what this film has to say about trauma. There is one thing that I had mentioned is that Finney's been getting into like weed. Like they talk about that in the film that he's been smoking weed and getting in the fights and shit. And his dad, once again played by Jeremy Davies, who you probably know from Justified, playing Terrence Blake. Gwen, Finney, and Terrence have a conversation about trauma in this film that I actually had to pause the movie and like clap. It's so well done, and the way that in particular, um, Madeline McGraw gets to really showcase her acting in that. It's such a holy fuck sort of moment in the best way. And it really like that scene alone bumped it up a little bit for me. I was just like, yep, I actually like this movie more than I like the first one. It's so rare to say that about a fucking horror sequel. Um, I really like sat down. I was thinking about like, God, what complaints do I have? I really don't have any. This was one of those movies that, as I was sitting there watching it, I was like, please don't fuck this up. Like, and when I'm starting to have that thought, that's a movie that's at least going to be an honorable mention, maybe even crack the list. But I love this fucking movie. I think The Black Phone 2 is just everything I want out of a horror sequel. A strong female protagonist while still making this Finney's story. Like it's a very delicate balance that the film strikes. And while I do think Gwen gets more shine in this movie, this is still definitely like a Finney movie, and the parts that Mason Thames is carrying, he does a fantastic job of it. So I have so much admiration for C. Robert Cargill and for Scott Derrickson for pulling this off and making a movie that's better than the first one that they made. I don't know if this will crack my top 10, but if it doesn't, it will be a high ass honorable mention. This is an A plus, and actually, nah, fuck that. This is a fan fucking tastic. I love this movie. I was sitting here trying to like, it's a no. It's a no. It's an A. It's a fan fucking tastic. It's fucking great. It is fucking great. Fuck yeah. Love the Black Phone 2. So yeah, that's my review for Black Phone 2. Let's see. So actually, I forgot I did not get a chance to finish Queen of the Ring. So actually, I am gonna end up pardon me, finishing that up. I'll probably finish that up like this morning before the Super Bowl. Thought I was gonna have a chance to finish it before work today, and it just didn't happen. So so I just actually was sitting here thinking about that. I was like, wait a minute, I didn't finish it yet. I'm close. I got like 40 minutes left, I think, in it. Okay, and then what's the other one? Oh yeah. Let's talk about The Housemaid. Oh my god, I can't believe this movie exists. I can't believe The Housemaid exists. How does The Housemaid exist? Let me see. Housemaid. Sorry, y'all. I thought I had these notes. This is why I'm happy I have a pixel. I can just hit a button and it just sends the shit to my computer, which is pretty great. All right, there we go. All right, cool. So, The Housemaid. There we go. I'm a little high, couldn't you tell? So The Housemaid is directed by Paul Feig, who, of course, you know from quite a few things that I'm just like. Paul Feig is such an interesting case because he's one of those dudes that like he's been successful. Like there's no denying that Paul Feig has been successful. You know him, of course. Like the big one is Bridesmaids, which is so interesting because I don't think Bridesmaids is even close to his best film. I think Bridesmaids is okay. I've never been super crazy about it. I think it's a good movie. I think Spy is one of the best spy parody. I think that's one of the best parody movies. Like if you want to call it a parody movie, but I think Spy is one of the best comedies in probably the last 20 years. I'd say last 15 years. I thought Spy was fucking excellent. I was actually quite disappointed that we didn't get a sequel to it. And actually, I think that should be his next thing. Pardon me. So, but Paul Feig, he's also done some shit that's just quite bad. A Simple Favor, great movie. Another Simple Favor, dog shit. Ghostbusters 2016, pretty bad. Not a fan of it. Last Christmas, dog shit. The Heat, like I know people like it. I've never really been crazy about The Heat. I think it's I think it's honestly, but I heard that there is this new movie coming out with Sydney Sweeney, who needs a hit desperately right now. It's a real shame too, because I mean, yes, I know Sydney Sweeney, she's super fine. I'll be real, y'all. Give me Amanda Seyfried over Sydney Sweeney any day of the week, and I'm gonna kind of just hype up Amanda Seyfried in just a second. Also because I watched The Testament of Anne Lee, and I think that movie's fucking great, but I will save that for a feature review. Amanda Seyfried takes chances. That's something I've always appreciated about her. Whether it's something like Jennifer's Body, whether it's something like Ted 2. And let me be clear, Ted 2 is a risk because that's comedy. Not everyone can do comedy. And I actually think Seyfried is actually very fucking funny. She's a great interview too. Like I know some people don't think so. I think she's a great fucking interview. I think she's fucking fun. Chloe She's fucking hot as hell in that, terrifying in that shit. Great in that. I thought Lovelace was actually a very brave movie, and I don't think she gets enough credit for how far she was willing to go in that movie. I think it's actually a pretty damn good flick. Um, but I've always been a fan of Amanda Seyfried. Of course, Les Mis. Um, I'm a fan of hers, and I've been a fan of hers for a minute. Um, she's great in this. Um, Also First Reformed. Why don't we bring up First Reformed more? That's such a great fucking movie. I'm gonna review it at some point. Anyways, but Amanda Seyfried, I feel like read the script and went, okay, this is a chance for me to just go fucking nuts if I want. And the thing about her in this movie is that she does a great job of playing Nina in the sense of you're like, okay, they're like she's clearly an intelligent woman. Like Nina is clearly smart. Like you don't get to where she is without being intelligent. But you are watching this and you're going like like this bitch is off a rocker. And and the thing is, without spoiling it, there is something that occurs early on with her that I went, okay, wait. And it immediately just kind of makes you like, if you catch it, it's gonna probably change your viewing experience of the film, which is not a bad thing. I try to not get ahead of films. Like I really just want a film to kind of like, almost like teach me how to watch it. I don't try to get ahead of what I'm watching. But one thing about this movie is that that there will be twists at some point. You understand that, some things will occur. But for me, and I think I saw this on a Wednesday night. Pardon me. Wednesday night with maybe 15 other people in the theater. And it was the perfect amount of people because I saw it's like at 9:00 or like 8, like 8:30. I saw this with a crowd of people who were excited to watch something trashy, excited to watch something fun, and we did have fun with it. It was just like this is stupid fun, but it should be stupid fun, and it felt like Seyfried understood the assignment. And while I do think Sydney Sweeney has been admittedly kind of a limited actress, I mean, I think she's what I'm totally blanking on that fucking rom-com. Anyone But You. I know she just did that boxer movie. I could give a fuck about watching it, to be totally honest. And I know she had movie Americana, also another movie. I just don't think I just don't care about her as an actress. Like even watching Euphoria, I was just like you watch Euphoria and like as gross as that show is, and yeah, the documentary about that will be insane at some point that we'll get about that show. But watching Zendaya on there, you watch that show and you're like, there's levels to this shit. And Zendaya is pretty much above most of the actresses on that show, especially Sweeney. You're just like, girl, like you're not on this level. Like there are levels to this. And I think Sydney Sweeney, like it is just kind of like it has that Made in Manhattan issue where you are watching this going, okay, there's no fucking way that someone would hire her as just a model or something just based on how attractive she is. Like it'd be just that, like that base level. You know what I mean? Like it is one of the things you're just kind of like, I don't know. But what I will say about the movie is that I do think Sydney Sweeney plays like, it's almost like watching, what's that movie? Safe House with Ryan Reynolds and Denzel, where part of the fun is watching like how deep in the shit Sydney Sweeney's character is going to go ahead and get, how deep in the shit Millie's going to be. And so as you're watching it, you're kind of like, okay, this is fascinating in that way, in the terms of like, okay, she's just gonna be in the shit, like no matter what. This is just not good for her. So from that perspective, it's kind of fun. And the way that Amanda Seyfried gaslights her, there are several moments where you're just like, wait. You're like, no. You said she got the weekend off. Why are you snapping on her like this? and like, oh wait, no, you said she could use the media room. Why are you acting like such a like a crazy bitch? And the movie does a great job of just of almost making you think you're crazy. Like it does a really good job kind of fucking with you. Like, and I mean that as I mean that as a compliment. Um, the movie itself is very well shot. It's very sexy in terms of its look. And that is like, I mean, obviously the two leads are horrendously attractive in Sweetie and Seafried, but it is wild to watch like how sleek the movie is, because the movie is very sleek, but it's almost done like intentionally to really kind of draw you in with the backdrop of the darkness and stuff that begins to come out and stuff that occurs. I even mentioned the husband, Amanda Seyfried's Nina's husband, played by Brandon Skelenar. That's what I'm gonna go with. He plays Andrew. You know him from It Ends With Us, which I have not seen, never will watch probably. But he's also in Drop, Midway, and then he was on 1923 when the Yellowstone show's there. But he has, like, one thing I will say about him, I mean, obviously good looking guy, but he has very natural chemistry with both leads, and it's very interesting to see where his character goes in terms of kind of trying to be mediator between these two women who their aggression towards each other really ramps up as the film goes on, as the walls close in and things are revealed. I will say I just wish I could talk about this more, but this is one of those movies that I really would want someone to watch for themselves. I mean, here's the thing, and I mean this affectionately. It really is like single white female, like in that ilk of film. It's trash. It's a trash movie in the best sort of way. In the way that this movie sets up for a sequel, which has already been confirmed because this movie is made fucking bank. This movie is apparently based on a book, which, I mean, was I surprised? Not really, but also like, oh my god, what are we writing here? Like, how is this a fucking movie? There are some moments of genuine tension. A moment in particular where Amanda Seyfried's Nina goes ahead and just dimes Millie out about something about her past, and the way she does it, and it's just like, in this such like oops sort of way. You're just like, oh, you bitch! Like it's like it's so well done though, and it's one of those moments where I was watching the movie, I just went, yes, yes, trash, such trash. Like give me all the trash, Paul Feig. Like more of this, please. But it's a movie that is dumb, but knows exactly what sort of dumb it wants to be. It knows exactly what sort of film it wants to be. It knows exactly like kind of the audience it's leaning towards. It's fun. It is fun, wonderful trash. It's fun, titillating trash. This is the shit that I wanted for something like 50 Shades of Grey. Like, I mean, there's not as much, there's, if you're expecting as much boob and butt, you're not going to get that in here. I will tell you that. But the movie though, like it is sexy. It's fun. It's a fun watch. And watching it like with some people, like you'd have fun watching this by yourself. Like this will be one of those movies that's on sale on Black Friday for like $7. I'm like, you know what? I'll buy that on digital. Why the fuck not? And I'll smoke a joint and I'll be like, oh, look at these. Never mind, I'm gonna be good, but I'm like, like look at them. Yeah, I'm having fun. Sure, like it's one of those sort of movies. But man, I'm gonna go B plus on this. This is fun. Like I saw this using one of my movie credits, but I saw it at night. So I mean, there are people who paid the watch. I think they said on Tuesday or Wednesday. So I mean, if you saw this on a $5 movie Tuesday, you'd be getting your money's worth and then some. I think even paying full price, you wouldn't feel ripped off. But I think a B plus is like a nice middle ground. So I'm gonna say B plus on this. But I had fun with this. This was honestly fucking fun. So yeah, I enjoyed this. I had fun with this. But yeah, y'all, B plus for the Housemaid. Yeah, this was fun. It was a fun watch. But yeah, y'all. Actually, you know what? My edibles kicking in even more. So I'm gonna call it good. That's 3 reviews. So I'm gonna do my Super Bowl preview tomorrow because I just remembered Alea's actually leaving for a little bit, so that gives me a little time to. You know what? Nah, fuck it. Let me get in this now because I will simply say, and I'll make it a short preview to be honest, but um, I don't really care about either team. I'm happy for Sam Darnold, and I'm happy for Jackson Smith from Jigba. Thank you for the fantasy championship, by the way. But but I think I'm more excited for the halftime show. Bad Bunny, of course, will be performing, coming fresh off of his album of the year win, which good for you, brother. Happy for you, man. Um, just watching Bad Bunny in Caught Stealing, dude's a hell of an actor. Like, and I'm excited to see him continue to develop as an actor. But obviously, Bad Bunny, one of the biggest artists in the world, when just had won multiple Grammys. Good for you again, brother. But I'm excited to see what he brings to the table at the halftime show. This once again is just another time where racist white people are going to be fucking dumb about this shit. I'm sure I can already hear the Fox News. I can already hear the Fox News headline on Monday, like immigrants invade the Super Bowl. Like, oh god, that's gonna be the fucking line. Watch, call me Negro Dominus if that's the line, because I can almost hear that being the fucking line. But I'm so excited to see what Bad Bunny brings to the table. I think it's gonna be fucking fun. I think it's gonna be a party. I'm excited. I'm making nachos tomorrow because I'm awesome. But I think Seattle's gonna beat. I think Seattle's gonna beat the Patriots down. To be honest, I think they'll beat them by 12 points at least. I think they'll beat them by at least 10. I just don't think Drake May's ready. I just don't, and I think Sam Darnold is gonna. I think Sam Darnold's gonna feast on that defense. It's gonna be an interesting game because I could be totally wrong. I mean, I rarely am, but I could be totally wrong. But I think, yeah, I think the Seahawks are gonna. I'm gonna say, I'll go 34-24. Yeah, 34-24. You heard it here first. 34-24 Seahawks. But yeah, this was. I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm excited for the game. By the way, bitch move Marvel. No Spider-Man trailer. No Avengers Doomsday trailer. Like what the fuck, y'all? Like I don't even know what trailers we're gonna get. We're gonna get lame ass commercials tomorrow, which lame. Yeah, fuck out of here. God damn it, Disney. Swear to God. Anyways. But yeah, I probably won't do a stream tomorrow. If anything, I might do like a short stream, maybe talking about the game. But probably not. But we'll see. Maybe I might change my mind. I might be high as a kite tomorrow, so I probably won't do a stream tomorrow. But I'm excited to watch the game though, because it's always Super Bowl is always at least a spectacle at worst. So it'll be interesting to see what we get. But man, I was almost gonna stream. Yeah, I might come back on. We'll see. But I'm gonna go get some dinner, y'all, because it's almost midnight here and I am hungry. But everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you guys, if you are watching Super Bowl tomorrow, if you're just using it as an excuse to get food, I don't blame you. I hope y'all have a blast. I hope y'all have a great time with your family and your friends tomorrow. I hope you stay safe. Please stay safe out there. Gonna have some reviews coming up here soon. I'm gonna be getting back in the Oscar screeners, so I'm gonna have reviews for Sentimental Value coming up. Neja, I'm gonna watch Neja 2. Yeah, I've got some stuff coming on the pipelines, y'all. But everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. Stay safe, take care of each other, give someone a hug, give someone a compliment. We can all use more positivity. And never forget, as always, to keep it real. Thank you so much, y'all, and I will talk to you soon. Have a good one.